Hi, my name's David. I'm from CrescoData, and today I'm going to take you through the Order Sync section of the management portal and how you can troubleshoot common support-related issues. So from the left navigation, if you click on Order Sync, then this will take you through to a page of all of your orders for all merchants connected to Cresco. So what you can do is you can also filter on or add in created date. And upon clicking the header, you can actually toggle by created date. Same goes by default, we toggle by updated date. So the first point of call is to ensure that the particular order in question or a particular error for merchant in question exists in Cresco. So if we filter on the order number, so let's say you have the order number from the customer. In this instance, this order does exist in Cresco, and you can see that it was created here at this time and then updated at this time, last updated at this time. You can also see the status of the order. At this moment, it's returned. So if we click into the order, this gives you an overview of the order. So it tells you when it was first received into Cresco, when it was last received and what we received, when it was last mapped into the Cresco master format and how we mapped it, and then finally when we last sent it to your platform and how we sent it in terms of the exact detail and the response we received back. So this is a good way of being able to track, for example, if an order attribute potentially is incorrect. So you'll be able to see, one, does that attribute exist in Lazada and how it existed, how it was mapped into Cresco's formats, and then how we sent it or did not send it to the platform. Another example is if an order status from a marketplace may reflect differently between your platform and the seller center, you'll be able to trace back as to when we last received an update from, in this instance, Lazada, and what the status was and how it was reflected back into your platform. The next section is the History Log tab. So the History Log tab gives you a full picture as to all the changes that have been made for this particular order and at what time. So normally the changes that are made are around status updates. So if you look at the current or the first record, we'll be able to view exactly what we received from Lazada, how it was mapped into our Cresco master format, and how we sent it on to the destination. For historical records, you can also compare it against the current record. So this is the last current record that we received. And as you can see, there's a number, it highlights all the lines that have changed. You can also untick this, and this will show you the full record that we sent to your platform. So in this instance, you can see that the initial order that we received was a pending status, and now the current status is returned, and it provides you with the reason as to why. You can also reference back to the previous record. So the previous record, it will tell you what has changed. So in this instance, we can see that tracking information was provided for this particular record here. And then you can follow that through throughout the history of this particular order. So getting to the last order, if we compare it against the last record, you can see that the status has changed from it being delivered through to it being returned and the reason why it was returned. So the history log is very useful just to be able to trace what has changed. So let's say, for example, there has been a partial cancellation, then you can see exactly when that information was sent back to Lazada. And in this instance, you can see if the order has been returned, you can see why it was returned and also potentially if it's a partial return, what lines were returned. So it gives you a full log as to the history of this particular transaction. And finally, we've got the listing page. So the listing page gives you a high-level summary of the order as it stands. So you can see this is the order number, this is the current status of it, This was the grand total and the price paid. It tells you when the order was created in Lazada in this instance, when it was last updated, and when it was created in Cresco and when it was last updated by Cresco. It also provides you with the variants that were ordered. It tells you the SKU, the product name, the quantity ordered. It also tells you the price and the price paid and the current status of that line item. So it just gives you a nice clean summary for you to view the current status of this order. So that's a high-level view of the order sync section. It should provide you with a detailed level as to, does the order exist? What is the current status of this order? And historically, what has changed along the way? Thanks for watching.